Halo Infinite just surprise release on November 15th on Monday, and I'm going to go through all the best keybinds that you could be running on Halo PC 2021. My name is ElectricityWave. Let's get into the video. Alright, so as we go into the settings of Halo Infinite, we're going to make a quick run through of all the settings you should have on, off, and keybinds. The best ones for PC. So the first one you're going to look at is hold to crouch. Now, I love having this turned on. That way you can spam crouch, and it just gives you a lot more freedom of being able to make yourself a harder target to hit against enemies. So I always have that on. I have it on in Apex. I'm going to have it on in Infinite. Next up, we have hold to zoom. Same thing. I don't like the toggle because sometimes you might accidentally click it. With the hold, you know exactly when you're going to release and when you go into zoom mode. Next up, we have hold to sprint. I have that off. I usually like having auto sprint on, but I don't see a setting for that in this game. So we're just going to have hold to sprint off, and you're going to have to be able to turn it on and let go of it. Hold to sprint is definitely a preference thing though. I might kind of mess with this and see what I like more. It's totally up to you. Next, we have maintain sprint. You can have that on or off as well. That's another preference thing. It really just depends on how you like to play. Next up, we have auto clamber. This you're going to want to have on because you're going to want to be able to climb stuff while you're in the air, especially in a rush while you're getting chased. Next up, we have step jump. Set whether to reduce jump height when jumping onto low ledges. The reason you want this on is you don't want to over jump on a ledge and get shot in the air. You're just going to want to get from point A to B and climb even on those small jumps really fast. And then when it comes to sensitivity, this you're gonna kind of have to mess with because it does feel different than other games. There are also websites where you can do a mouse DPI or sensitivity calculator from game to game. For me, I'm just kind of messing with this to see what feels most natural when I Kovacs, aim labs, and games like Apex. I want it to be as similar to that as possible. When it comes to vertical and horizontal sensitivity scale, I always keep that 1:1 because if you kind of change those, then it kind of messes with the sensitivity and feels a little bit weird. I like keeping it linear and just keeping it the same throughout, and so it's consistent, you know, sensitivity whether you're going diagonal, up, down, left, right. With the zoom level, I also kept that the same, 1.0. I kind of want all the sensitivity to feel the same. Then we get the mouse acceleration. In every single game and on your PC, make sure you have this turned off. This will definitely mess with your sensitivity, your DPI, and make aiming just feel a little bit harder than it should be. Now we have on foot keybinds. Now these are super important for combat. Obviously you're going to keep all the WSAD the same if you want. Some people play with different, but that's totally up to you. Jump, I have a space. Crouch and slide, I like to have on my mouse, so I have it on my mouse button. And C, I like having the option sometimes to use C instead of, you know, just the mouse button. So that's a really nice, I think, especially for a game in Halo that just implemented sliding. I think it's really nice. We have sprint as left shift, pretty default. Fire weapon, use equipment. I have that as the back mouse button on the side because that's how I play in Apex. It's definitely a comfortability thing. Some people might use this for a grenade, or some people might use this for melee. It really just depends on what's comfortable for you, but I always implement the side buttons for shooters. In any game really I can, because it just makes it more accessible for me to use those buttons in game, and it just makes the flow a lot easier. The less that I have to use my fingers and move them from WASD, it is really the better, you know? I honestly wish I had more buttons on my mouse. Now melee, I have Q. That's definitely, you know, a personal thing. I did it in Apex. I'm doing it in Halo, but I know a lot of people might like that on their mouse, so it's really accessible because melee is a huge thing in Halo. Anyone who played the old Halo games, meleeing is honestly one of the most used buttons you're going to use to get kills in this game. Then we have switch weapon. I mean, we have all this stuff. Drop weapon, I changed to X, and a lot of this other stuff I have pretty much on default. We went through the main things. Vehicle, you know, that's kind of very situational. Keybinds, theater mode, same thing, but we went through the most important things that you're gonna have to pay attention to in Halo. And by the way, if you want your boxes to highlight while you're going through the settings with the green outline, you're going to go to accessibility tab and click on the linear navigation mode, because if you have it off, you can still kind of see where you're going, but it's just nice to have that extra point of emphasis to see exactly what you're clicked on. Okay, that's a quick little thing as well. Also, if you want, you can turn on your FPS. Now I have mine on. I think it's from Nvidia, but you can change this if you want as well. Okay, in your UI settings, you will see the FPS counter and network statistics. You can put those on if you don't have them already enabled, but I do have mine on my screen. You can't see it, but from Nvidia GeForce Experience, I believe it shows the FPS for me, so it's already on. But those are the best settings that I have found through playing through the tech preview of Halo and now the official launch of Halo Infinite. If you guys want to see any content on video settings or audio settings, let me know in the comments. My name is ElectricityWave. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.